Hello and welcome to another coding session with Ruin. This is part 2 of FPCache. In this video, I want to work on a configuration. So the plan is to, 1, add the configuration to the library, 2, actually create an init config command to the CLI that creates the config for you, and 3, work on an optional surday feature in the library that will add surday to the config if and only if surday feature has been turned on, and obviously like create a default config, right? So first thing I want to start with is just creating the struct, right? So public structure is going to be the config. Let's call it the FPCache config. We can always update names. Let's just call it config. It doesn't matter. Config. What are we going to configure? Let's configure the for now just the cache directory, right? So we can, for example, say, well, cache dir and a string, right? So this is our config. It's not a library, and we want to use it in the CLI. Now the CLI will have an init config command. So let's just do it here. Init config. Let's remove the test command because we have an actual command now. So like this, and then we just want to call init config, right? So let's create a function. We'll split this up in the future when it's too much. For now, let's just keep it here, right? So init config. We'll keep it very simple, like this, right? We call init config in the CLI, FPCache init config. We will actually go to this this function, and one thing we should look for. Do you have the install yet? We do. If we type FPCache, it will actually use a dash here. It's because it has an auto mapping from this Pascal case stuff to what's init config gonna do. The config is always assumed to be in the working directory that the executable will be launched from. So simply we will do probably like a file write, right? So yeah, let's add the default configuration contents. And the way you do this is by setting it with a raw string. Right, so let's just call it. Right, so this is syntax for a raw multiline string. You just do this here. We'll create a little comment, file processing, cache default configuration. We'll have a header for section cache and then just a directory, right? And let's just say by standard, by default, it's .fpcache, right? So this is our default toml. Let's actually add another comment. The directory where the cached results will be stored. Okay. And let's just do this. Let's see. Found enum result. So we can actually, so this is an IO result. I think it's nice if we actually made our own error for this. So let's add this error. And I'm going to make a guess, and that this error will actually be a workspace dependency. So let's cargo add this error. Use the package. Yeah, well, we're gonna specify it in the CLI first, and then move up, right? Cargo add this error. So let's see what happened. So if this error 2.17, who cares about the patch version? Let's just say this, right? And I'm not sure. Yeah, it is a derive by default, so we don't need to turn on any features. This is fine. So what I like to do is just move this to the workspace because we know it's gonna be used in library as well. Okay. So this adds this error. Let's create an actual error for it. So we're gonna derive error and debug. on an enum. I like using enums. Enum FPC CLI error, right? And for now, we just have an IO error, which we will get from, if you don't know how to use this error, it's okay. But you should know it because it's a very good library. Obviously, it's import. So this creates an this error, and the whole idea of a this error is just it generates a display for you and it generates an into box dyn error, which you want to do here. So what we'll do is say type FPC CLI result is just result. Well, the FPC error, right? So that's fine, and then this will be like a so, and then we can call. I think we can call directly .into. Not too sure. I don't think that's true. We can say .map error. And I think we can just do it directly like this. FPC CLI error, IO error. Is the case? Yes, that is the case. So you can't really see this too well. So this is column 75. Let's say it can do 80 columns max. For this, we have Rust FMT. Okay. So this will clean it up a little so you guys can actually see what's going on. So all init config is going to do is going to write the default config to a file named FPCache.toml, and if it can't do it, we will give an error. And all we need to do now is actually display the error. So what I like to do is just say we're going to call that function run CLI, and we're going to have a different main. Now this main is going to display the error from run CLI. So we can actually keep run CLI relatively clean. See, so this is pretty clean. And this can just do this. That's not true. We need to return a result of nothing or a box dyn error. Okay. So this is gonna work. Right, we made our thing. Let's go do our local install. Okay, so now we have an FPCache binary, which will say, hey, you can run init config, and when we do, it will actually create an FPCache.toml with our contents inside, which is very nice. Can we generate error? I don't think we can. It's going to recreate the file, which is dangerous, but for now it's accepted behavior, right? And one more thing, we return a this error here, but this error will not display nicely when actually, propagated using this operator, because every error out of main will use the debug implementation. There's a couple ways to get around it. For now, I think I want to use color ira. I'm not sure how to spell it, but let's add it. So cargo add color ira. And all we need to do is say color ira install. And I think this is all we need to do. Let's actually do the arc parsing here. I think that's a little cleaner. Okay, and then call this like that. I think this is a little cleaner. Of course, I did one thing wrong, which is that color ira wants you to actually return a report. The easiest way is to just actually use the result from color ira here. So you can see that reports it here. Never like using the general name, so let's just say ira result. Like so. This is going to be unused. And this is going to return the ira result. yeah, we can just redo our experiment here, right? So string from test. And so this should actually show the nice error, as you can see here, right? So it's a little more nice. We won't do this though. And this will be unused for now. But I think we can do with this, right? So allow, I think it's that code, not too sure. Yeah. Okay, so that's it for Node.